You are watching ESPN Cricinfo Match Day, and we've just witnessed a very unusual game. I don't say unusual because Rajasthan Royals have won their first win in 4 games. Unusual because it's the first game that's finished in stipulated time. That's 11:30 cutoff, much to the relief of my two colleagues here, Ajit Agarkar and Brad Hodge. Here's a look at the scorecard. Then 158 for 4 is what Bengaluru got, and Rajasthan chased that down, albeit almost taking it to the last ball. 164 for 3. Jos Butler, the star there, with 59, but it was really Shreyas Gopal with the ball that really turned the match around for Rajasthan Royals, picking up 3 wickets, giving away just 12 runs. Here's a look at the points table, and it's getting very, very lonely there for Royal Challengers Bangalore, right at the bottom, because they are the only ones now without a single win in the IPL. Rajasthan were giving them company, but now have moved up with 2 points, and then on top you've got Chennai, Punjab, Hyderabad, Kolkata. A game, interesting game coming up tomorrow where Chennai take on Mumbai. Will that help Mumbai go up? We'll have to wait and watch. Okay, we'll turn our attention to the game that has just happened. Ajit, I'll start with you. Is it all but over for Royal Challengers Bangalore? I know mathematically they'll have a chance, but from here on.
No, not over because they need 8 wins out of 10. But the way they're playing at the moment, the big guns struggling, which never helps. And you can't. I mean, you might say Kultanal might come in, provide a bit more sort of experience in that bowling. Will that make a difference in the eventual result? They've started to look a little bit sort of low on. I mean, they're obviously low on confidence, but even their performances in the field, they're looking a bit flat. Their whole batting was, just disjointed a bit. I mean, Parthiv played a really good innings. Apart from that, not a lot. Just looking more and more difficult with each passing game for RCB.
Just looking at that points table, Brad, they are right at the bottom, but they're looking like the team that deserves to be right at the bottom. Sometimes you have teams that are fighting really hard and then not making it, but in case of, let's say, Royal Challengers Bangalore, both the last 2 losses have been one-sided.
Yeah, you can clearly see they're struggling. I think certainly their confidence has taken a bit of a beating. You can see by the way they're playing. I mean, it looked like Parthiv Patel was the only one that really played with a bit of freedom, and he's one that doesn't usually play with a lot of freedom. So, that's just lacking of confidence. That's one thing which, when your big guns aren't firing in this competition, it's tough because there's so many good teams and so many big guns playing that if you can't match it, you're going to struggle. So, look, they've got a few departments they need to work on for sure, but this tournament runs by pretty quickly, and they need to start getting the processes right.
Okay, we'll start looking at all the match points that we've got. We've divided it into 4 of them. The 5th one, of course, is who's won the Fab 4, but that is coming right at the end. We'll start with Butler and Smith. They're compiling the partnership that they've got in a scratchy Rajasthan chase. We're only saying it's scratchy because it went down to the last over, but if you look at the entire match, they had it under control. Ajit, I'll start with you. The Butler-Smith partnership as such, but you're going to go right at the start. Now, if you had a low total, as Bengaluru did, of 158, you needed to get wickets right on the top. Would you then have gone with the spinners, something that Rajasthan did?
Yeah, I mean, especially when you've seen it in the first inning, that the spinners were that much more difficult to bat. I mean, Butler, you can see the numbers. His strike rate's always high, scores very quickly, and that is the wicket you need, ideally. And they got Rahane out, but I can't believe that Chahal didn't come on to bowl till the 8th over, if I'm not wrong.
And he was the standout bowler anyway.
Yeah, Moeen Ali didn't bowl his quota. I mean, Moeen Ali bowls a lot for England, but will you bank on him? Perhaps not, but it's still a spinner, and the spinners had a little bit more than the seamers. So you've got to question some of the decision making, and that responsibility goes to the captain. You could argue that maybe he kept him in the middle overs too. But if Butler's already scored a 30 or a 40, that set the game up for Rajasthan. So not a great decision holding Chahal back for as long as he did.
Even if we were to take that argument that he was holding him for the middle overs, as Ajit says, which itself doesn't seem right, but if you were to take that argument, even then Moeen Ali was worth a try, especially we saw with Krishnappa Gautam doing that job for Rajasthan Royals.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if the game plan was to have Chahal through the middle, then the 3 paces that operated in the power play, there was one chance that went down, but realistically they bowled short and wide, and they got pummeled. So for me, for sure, even Moeen Ali in the power play, he's the experienced player, would have been a good option. I mean, Josh Butler's just a class above at the moment. Scratchy a little bit in the middle for Rajasthan. You can see Steve Smith just sort of fighting for a little bit of form. This will do him in good stead, actually, to get some good time in the middle. And, that's what's required of a good player. Just sort of get your team close to home. Usually gets them home, but hold out, trying to be a little bit extravagant. But all in all, I think Rajasthan had it in complete control.
Yeah, I mean, it went till the end. But unless they lost sort of a flurry of wickets in the middle or at the start, it was highly unlikely that they'll not get the runs. And even it looked like they only won with the ball to spare. They looked in control.
Just taking that question, because as Brad mentions about Steve Smith's form, we've seen him now, because we're talking about the innings and calling it scratchy. If I was to use that word scratchy, would it be fair to use it for Steven Smith's inning? He's not the Steven Smith that we've so accustomed to.
Yeah, but you can sort of imagine that. He's a bit different to what David Warner is. Tells you how two different characters react to the same sort of adversity or problems. Maybe Smith might take a little bit longer. It's still a class player. I mean, I agree with him. I mean, that time in the middle today, maybe there was a little bit of slowness in the pitch where the fluency was a little bit harder to get for batters from both sides. Would stand him in good stead. I mean, even the ball that he got out on another day, it's that for six, the length ball.
Okay, now if RCB had to defend that, one option was to go with the spinner right up on top, which they didn't. The other was to have the pace bowlers pick up wicket. That didn't quite happen too. We'll talk about Umesh Yadav in particular. Now, if you're defending such a low total, Brad, then you need your lead bowler. And we've seen Virat always having this sort of faith on Umesh Yadav. He's his go-to bowler. We've seen it in the longer format as well. Sometimes for India, he tries to have him in the shorter format. He's not really firing, and that's now another reason for concern for us.
He's not picking up wickets, is he? So I think last year, what did he get? 20 odd wickets plus, and now he got 14 in the power play as well. So, this year you're not getting off to a good start. So for him, might be a little bit of rhythm as well. I mean, he's got a great outswing, good pace. You can see he just lost his ball a couple of times down the leg side. So that just says that he's either searching or lack of rhythm a little bit. But it's more that the issue is the consistency. I just didn't see the RCB bowlers challenging the stumps at all consistently. They're short and wide. And it doesn't matter what sort of pace you are. You can be 140, 150. If you bowl wide, you're going to get punished. I mean, good players are good players. Any sort of width on hand. So, look, they just need some little bit of just some tinkering as well. Not all's lost, but this bowling unit's going to come under some pressure. And you can see that they're just off the game. The whole RCB unit is actually just not firing.
I mean, you've got to then question. Virat at the toss said that we hope the pitch is a bit more scuffed up when we bowl, and you still don't include a frontline spinner.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, Moeen Ali, you don't bowl him enough, so you've got to wonder. The team selection's been a real problem. You play 3 quicks and you say the pitch is dry. You've already got Stoinis to help you out now as an all-rounder, if need be, as a third seamer. It's not like the case in Hyderabad where de Grandin was their sort of the 6th bowler. Here Stoinis is a frontline bowler. You've got to wonder why Washington Sundar is not getting a game. Look, it may not have worked on the night because they didn't get enough runs, but surely the case for picking the right 11.
Just going back to that Umesh Yadav thing, we spoke about Steven Smith. There's a confidence thing. Does that seem to be weighing on Umesh Yadav's mind? He's been out of favour in the shorter format of the game. Had he been playing a little more cricket there, that would have made a difference to that rhythm, which we saw last season from him.
I don't think so. I think last year he wasn't playing for India in the shorter format either. It's just one of those things. There's better form. You're a lot more confident. The team's not started great, which doesn't help your cause. I think they used him a lot in the first 12, 13, 14 overs because he was their go-to bowler to get wickets. Right now they don't have somebody to finish the innings off. They've had to hold him back as well. He hasn't had wickets with the new ball, which doesn't help your confidence. And it's a tough game, T20, because you don't have too much time to recover in between games. And at the moment, things are not just for him, but just RCB in general aren't going good.
Yeah, if I was to draw up a list of all RCB weaknesses, I'll say batting, tick, bowling, tick. Now I'll have to tick fielding as well. They dropped 3 catches. Just tells you,
I think today.
3, 4. We'll have to check on that. Producer tells me 3, but even if it's 3, do you think it just tells you what sort of mental space they are in at the moment?
Yeah, because fielding's an attitude, and it's one thing that you can actually do and make a difference. So when you're out in the field, you can actually control what you do. So if an opportunity is presented, you've got to take them. And the RCB are just letting opportunities go. And they're not really in a state that they can be able to do that.
Okay, we'll turn our attention to point number 3, and that was the star with the ball, as we mentioned, Shreyas Gopal, really outstanding, picking up 3 wickets, and then which is why you've got Rajasthan Royals on the winning side. We'll start with that wow wicket, as you can say, of Virat Kohli. Clearly, they had done their homework. They knew that if there was a weakness with him, it was either the off spinner or then the googly.
Yeah, he did his homework as well. He's in his Fab 4 today, I think. No, incredible. I mean, anytime you get AB de Villiers and Virat Kohli out cheaply, you've got to feel proud and beat Virat Kohli fair and square. I think whether Virat was as switched on as he is, he usually is, we'll never know, but he's beaten him. I mean, he's not read the googly and gone through the gate. I think you could see from his reaction how happy he was to get Virat Kohli out. Doesn't get out too many times once he gets to a 20-25, which he had, even though it started slow. You know that someone like Virat will go on and get a score, which then helps his team post a decent total. So, yeah, terrific performance. I mean, 3 top order wickets kind of broke their back a bit.
Whether Virat was switched on or not. Now, that's the talking point here. We've not seen a Virat Kohli like this, as subdued as we saw him today. Usually, he's the one who's the aggressor, takes the attack to the bowlers. Do you think, I mean, where his team is at the moment, the captaincy, all of it weighing down heavily on him?
Look, I think he's probably entitled to a couple of bad days.
Oh, sure.
I mean, that's what people have got to understand. That to set the bar so high is what Virat does. It's hard to actually maintain it. And, you know, when you think about what's he's achieved throughout the summer, leading into that with the Test Series win in Australia, you know, has a hard series against Australia at home in a one-day series, then comes back here and has a tough series again. Yeah, it's not easy, mentally challenging and tough to be consistently good all the time. So, you know, it's hard to maintain that high level, and you know, you'll go through ups and downs, you know, as a batter, and you know, he'll adjust. You know, I mean, it's he's carrying the weight of not only the country but also a franchise on his shoulders at the moment, and it's a very important part of time for cricket. And for things at the RCB, it's just not happening for him, and yeah, it's showing unfortunately in his batting. Probably just wants to carry through, you know, wants to bat 20 overs, show the team how it's done, but you got beaten today. Simple as that.
Yeah, I mean, for RCB's sake and for India's, you hope that he returns to Virat Kohli.
He's saving his runs for the World Cup.
For India's sake, I hope so.
Yeah. Okay. One is, as you're saying, he's entitled to have his off days, but it was just the sort of dismissal that Virat had, or not even the dismissal. Actually, the time that he spent in the crease, that seemed very unusual. Do you think? I mean, going back to number 3 may just free him of all of that. Have 2 openers that go bang bang right at the start, so when he comes, he can play that role of.
He hasn't had 2 openers who've gone bang bang. I mean, he opened in the first game. I think he dropped himself down in the last game. Hetmaya went in, and I think it was the right move. Just come in, maybe get some time at the crease. Maybe it wasn't a wicket where I think not a lot of batsmen looked fluent, except Parthiv Patel, really.
Yeah.
If you think about it. So, it was a wicket where you had to get yourself. Yeah, again, you know, yeah, he did play some good shots, but there were some which he missed time. So, maybe it was the conditions. No, I think the more balls he faces, the better it is for RCB.
A quick word on Krishnappa Gautam. We usually look at the wicket takers, which Shreyas Gopal was. But, you know, we were talking before the match started that he has that ability to bowl with the new ball, something that they hadn't tried. They tried it this time and he's done very well for them.
Yeah, I think that's what they need to do as well. I think the spin attack for Rajasthan has been disappointing until today, actually. So, look, I'm delighted they've stood up. And you know, Shreyas Gopal in particular has come up. He would have known the stats against Virat and also AB, and he's delivered. And you know, Jinx has chucked him the ball and said, "Right, it's your time to deliver now," and he's done it in spades. So that's really good. We've seen the off spinner operating as well. So he got the wicket of Virat last year. So that's just good management, actually. That's just knowing statistics. Someday it works, someday it doesn't as well. Yeah. So, yeah, look, they need to step up for Rajasthan because their back-end bowling's been an issue. And when you take wickets through the middle like that, it makes your job a hell of a lot easier.
Okay, Bengaluru have lost their fourth match of this IPL, but we're looking at a positive for them, or so it seems at the moment. Parthiv and Stoinis among runs for the team. We'll start with Parthiv Patel. He's got his 50, I think, almost after a season-long break, so to say. But the problem with Parthiv is he doesn't do it consistently. Why do you think that he's lacking there? I mean, he gets you runs quickly, but not consistently.
Or maybe not, doesn't bat for long enough in the innings. I mean, we've been talking about it, that if he's only going to use the power play, whether there should be another option that, top three are the most important positions in most cricket, but in T20 cricket, because if they can set you up, or one of them goes through the innings or bat majority of the innings, you're going to get a good score. Unfortunately for Parthiv, look, if he bats the way he did today, I don't think there's an issue with him opening. If he can take it deep into the innings, bat at the strike rate that he has, and get to that 60, 70, or sometimes even more, and no, it can't happen 10 games in the season.
Yes.
Not many people do that. But even if he does it for 5 or 6 times in a season, then it's justifiable that he opens the innings. If he's only going to score in the power play and then maybe slow down once that's done, puts a lot of pressure on the other batsmen. But if he can do what he's done today, it was an exceptional innings. I mean, when a lot of the other batsmen seemed to struggle for timing, he not only batted when there were 3 important wickets down, and got them to a total where they could at least put up a decent fight.
Right, at a great strike rate, and I'm looking right now, 163. Usually we're used to seeing Parthiv strike the ball at that strike rate in the first 6 overs, but he did that now throughout his innings. If you look at a breakdown of his innings and how he performed against the fast bowlers and the spinners, you see his strike rate against the fast bowlers, 203. It's the spinners. I mean, he was clever here, Brad, you'd have to say that. Not quite really good against the spinners, so ensure that he doesn't take risk against them and goes after the fast bowlers, which he generally likes the ball coming to his bat.
Yeah, it's a Mahendra Singh Dhoni tactic, isn't it? I mean, play to your strengths, and he's done that particularly well. Understood his capabilities, and he knew that he's going to struggle against the off spin turning away from his bat, and attack someone else. So that's what batting's all about. So well done to Parthiv Patel. It was a pretty good knock, quite impressive.
Stoinis, I mean, much was spoken about his comeback, and we're looking at his performance today. 31 of 28 deliveries. You think could have scored a bit quicker, considering what they've just lost 4 wickets.
Yeah, I mean, at that point Parthiv was going okay, so sort of played himself in a little bit. First game back in the IPL. Again, like we keep repeating, we have repeated, not many batsmen could easily get to grips with pace of the pitch. Finished off well in that last over. I mean, I'm sure he'd be hoping to, if he bats again for 28 balls, to score a few more runs, because that's the role that he has at 5 or 6. Where he needs to accelerate. Today was a bit different when they were 3 wickets down, but I'm sure he'd like to score a bit quicker.
Does that reiterate the fact that he's happiest batting right on top?
No, it's him being vulnerable to spin, especially after you've taken a few more wickets. We know Marcus Stoinis, if he has got any deficiencies, like most Australians, it's against spin early. So he came into the deep end against the rampant Shreyas Gopal, and had to nullify that storm. But look, I think from Stoinis' point of view, he'd be happy to get some runs. But he knows that if he's going to play down the order and play as a power hitter, he probably needs to get that strike rate up above, sort of 140.
All right, we're done with the match analysis, and now chance to look at the Fab Four, a closer look at how the 2 analysts in our studios have performed in Brad Hodge and Ajit Agarkar. We've got Brad Hodge's points tally up first. 35. No. He's done much better than he expected, I would say. You weren't expecting 35 points.
No, I was expecting 15. That's pretty much as bad as it can get.
But you were tempted to pick Shreyas Gopal, or picked him last time around.
I've picked him twice now. He's done nothing for me. So, like IPL, if you don't perform twice, you're out. So what's happened?
That's when he performs.
I don't think with AB de Villiers, Stokes and Archer is too many days where you're going to get
35 points. And Hetmeyer, yes. Hetmeyer hasn't had a great IPL up until now. Okay, Ajit. Your turn. Let's see how you've performed. Your four players are
I think it's a good day.
Butler, Virat Kohli, Steven Smith, Yuzvendra Chahal, and you hit a double 100 today. So that's a massive, massive win for Ajit Agarkar. Brad's pretty used to this. He's had a massive win earlier in the tournament as big as this. So he knows how it feels like to notch up 200 plus. But a great performance, Ajit, on a day that didn't start well with the quiz.
It's not been good at the quiz anyway. So not today. No, so look,
Okay,
got lucky
inspired
with Butler.
selection.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks so much for your time. Brad Hodge, Ajit Agarkar. You are watching ESPN Cricinfo Match Day. That is the end of game number 14. Exciting game number 15 coming up where you'll have Chennai taking on Mumbai. We'll see you then.